and welcome to our nightly news. These are the headlines. President of the Republic, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense, chaired a Council of Ministers meeting. The agenda included progress on key railway projects and preparations for Eid al-Adha. Full statement coming up shortly. A ceremony presided over by the PM on behalf of the President of the Republic paid tribute to Algerian women with outstanding careers, celebrating their commitment and success. An iftar event was held in honor of female military and civilian personnel of the Ministry of National Defense, presided over by Army General, Mr. Delegate to the Minister of National Defense, Chief of Staff of the PNA. In Paris, celebrations of International Women's Day was also a moment of concern. Elected officials and activists denounced the treatment of Algerians in France, voicing their frustration over rising hostility. Well, welcome back, everyone. First of all, President of the Republic, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, and the Minister of National Defense, Abdelmajid Tebboune, chaired a Council of Ministers meeting on Sunday. The session reviewed the progress of the railway project segment Garaj Bilat Bashar and initial studies for railway projects linking Lghwat, Taman Rasit and El Mni'a Timimun Darar, alongside the possibility of importing livestock in preparation of Eid al-Adha. Following a presentation by the PM on government activity over the past 2 weeks and the ministerial interventions on draft laws and reports, the President issued the following directives. After a detailed presentation by the High Commissioner for Digitization on linking national tax data to the National Digital Database, the President ordered the acceleration of the project to eliminate human intervention in data management. He stressed that this step will facilitate investors' operations while ensuring transparency in tax collection, monitoring and adjustments, making the process fully electronic. On livestock imports for Eid al-Adha, the President instructed the Minister of Agriculture to prepare a set of specifications to launch an international consultation as soon as possible with countries capable of supplying up to 1 million head of livestock. He had also instructed to include a price ceiling in the specifications and to have state institutions and specialized agencies handle the imports, alongside to coordinate with public cooperatives across the provinces to sell livestock in collaboration with chosen institutions. The President also instructed to allow social service departments of institutions and companies to handle sales and distribution in coordination with social partners. On the progress of the railway project segment, Garaj Bilat Bashar, and initial studies for the railway projects linking Lghwat to Taman Rasit and El Mni'a to Timimun and Darar, the President ordered the immediate implementation of the railway projects linking Lghwat to Taman Rasit and El Mni'a to Timimun and Darar, emphasizing their strategic importance for the national economy and their broader social impact. He highlighted Algeria's ongoing development momentum, which holds national, continental and international significance. On the marble industry, the President directed the organization of this strategic sector and collaboration with leading international partners. In order to support local production, the President ordered a ban on importing ready-made marble slabs and called for new investments and industry reforms. He encouraged sector officials to raise investment levels strategically, given the industry's significant potential for foreign exchange earnings and job creation. On the February 25, 2025 vocational training session, the President noted the growing appeal of vocational training and the Ministry's adoption of a new approach aligned with the market demands in key sectors. He emphasized the need for more training in agriculture, in particular in livestock farming, for family-based production, tree cultivation and floriculture, and this to promote the use of modern scientific technologies. The President instructed the organization of a national exhibition for small-scale livestock farmers in coordination with the Ministry of Agriculture. And before concluding, the Council of Ministers approved a presidential decree ratifying an agreement between Algeria and Slovenia for the mutual exemption of short-stay visa requirements for holders of diplomatic and service passports. Right now, back to Saturday's event. On the occasion of International Women's Day, a heartfelt tribute to the Algerian women was paid in Algiers under the slogan Algerian Women Challenges and Victories. Presided by the PM on behalf of the President of the Republic, where distinguished and talented women were honored for their achievements and contributions to their country's development. The roundup with Najah Tayar.
On the occasion of their International Day, the Algerian women reaffirmed their deep attachment to a heritage of glory and noble values. Aware of their rights and duties, they continue to assert themselves in all fields, excelling in everything they undertake. Their unwavering commitment to the development of their country and their numerous achievements have earned them a well-deserved recognition. In tribute to their success, the President of the Republic has honored an elite group of women.
On behalf of Algerian women and on the occasion of International Women's Day, I would like to take this opportunity to extend my most sincere greetings, as well as my deepest gratitude and esteem to the President of the Republic. He has always shown unfailing support for women's causes and for everything that contributes to their development, reaffirming on every occasion his confidence in their ability to play an active part in our country's development.
A ceremony was recognized to honor women in recognition of their central role in the country's socio-economic development. They have excelled in various fields, including science, art, media, sports, crafts, and many others, showcasing their remarkable contribution and achievement. This tribute represents for us a source of motivation to redouble our efforts and share our knowledge even more. This encouragement is very valuable for us. It is acknowledging our efforts and role in the Algerian society. Through me, all the women of Tindouf have been honored, and I would like to thank the President of the Republic for this attention.
This day is for us a recognition of all the efforts made for our country. I weave traditional carpets. I call on all women to preserve this heritage, and I'm very happy to be here.
And as they celebrate this day, the Algerian women are realizing their aspirations across all sectors. They demonstrate their merit daily by excelling in entrepreneurship, holding high-ranking positions in various institutions, and showcasing their talents and optimizing performance. Through their dedication, they continue to serve society and contribute to its progress.
Army General Saad Shingiriha, Minister Delegate to the Minister of National Defense, Chief of Staff of the PNA, presided over on Saturday at the National Army Circle an iftar ceremony in honor of military and civilian female personnel from the Ministry of National Defense, along with members of the joint services in celebration of International Women's Day. Najah Tayar.
The ceremony was attended by the Secretary General of the Ministry of the National Defense, the commanders of the forces, the National Gendarmerie and the Republican Guard, the commander of the 1st Military Region, the chiefs of departments, the Comptroller General of the Army, the directors and chiefs of the Central Services of the Ministry of the National Defense, and the General Staff of the People's National Army. On this occasion, the General delivered a speech in which he highlighted the contribution made by the Algerian women in the framework of the project of building a new Algeria.
وها هي المرأة الجزائرية اليوم تواصل المسيرة في إطار مشروع بناء الجزائر الجديدة والمنتصرة.
The Algerian women are contributing their journey within the framework of the project of building a new and victorious Algeria, initiated and led by Abdelmajid Tebboune, President of the Republic, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, Minister of the National Defense, who personally ensures that women are given the interest, support and encouragement they deserve by giving instructions to open the doors of all sectors to them without exception, so that they can express their talent and unleash the immense creative potential they possess to contribute to the development and progress of the country.
تساهم بالتالي في تطوير ورقي الوطن.
The general also stressed that it is in the same perspective that the People's National Army ensures, in accordance with the guidelines of the President of the Republic, to promote the role of women within the defense apparatus of our country by encouraging their integration into the ranks of the PNA, their insertion in all specialties without exception, as well as their accession deserved to senior positions and functions. This is how the opportunity is offered to women to assert themselves and contribute on an equal footing with their male colleagues to the achievement of the expected objectives within the framework of the new and victorious Algeria.
مع زميلها الرجل في تحقيق الأهداف المسطرة والغايات المنشودة في إطار الجزائر الجديدة والمنتصرة.
السيدة اللواء بولا الله مسعودة.
At the end, the general honored a number of female personnel while urging them to take up the challenge with perseverance and wishing them every success in their professional careers.
Amid diplomatic strains and rising hostility, International Women's Day was marked in Paris with both celebration and concern. Elected officials and activists used the occasion to speak out against the treatment of Algerians in France, expressing their frustration over the growing climate of hostility. Risalila Balaman.
The atmosphere was not just one of celebration. Behind the smiles and official speeches, a deep-seated anger was brewing. For the third consecutive year, the Emir Abdelkader Circle marked International Women's Rights Day. But this time, the event carried a different way. Coinciding with the month of Ramadan, it became more than a simple gathering. It turned into a political forum. Around the table set for iftar as well as on stage, one subject overshadowed all others: the escalating tensions between Algiers and Paris, and the increasingly hostile rhetoric directed at Algerians from French political circles. Why this fixation on Algeria? Well, it's like ultrasounds. You say the word Algeria, it echoes among them, and all their colonial subconscious is awakened. At the heart of the frustration was France's political and media obsession with the 1968 agreements, now being scapegoated as the supposed source of immigration and security issues. But for the officials present, this narrative was nothing more than a misleading, distorted and dishonest debate, one that had little basis in reality.
There are the 1968 agreements, and these agreements must be reviewed. It is the President of the French Republic and the Algerian President who must sit down at the table to discuss this, of course in coordination with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, not the Ministry of the Interior, which is now claiming the authority to revise them.
This fire must be put out so that we can have proper discussions and address these agreements. Everyone agrees if there are agreements, they should be examined, but in a diplomatic manner and with mutual respect. I believe African countries, because France has issues not only with Algeria but with many other nations, must reconsider the paradigm. We must engage as equals and respect the sovereignty of other countries. If we want to move forward together, we need dialogue, not invective. But beyond the issue of 1968 agreements or the OQTFs used as political tools to stir public fear, what truly alarmed those present was the wider climate of hostility, a deliberate and unapologetic Franco-Algerophobia that is becoming more blatant by the day.
voit cette cabale politico-médiatique qui est menée contre l'Algérie.
This political and media-driven campaign is making Algeria a scapegoat for France's problems, worsening long-standing discrimination against French citizens of Algerian descent. Our community is suffering, tired of hearing Algeria vilified. Most just want to live peacefully, without being used as a political tool for the 2027 presidential elections. Perhaps some in the French right and far right still refuse to accept that Algeria's sovereign and the colonial era is over. But today we are many here to remind them. This courage, the willingness to denounce injustice and refuse silence, was at the heart of this year's gathering. We are organizing this dinner on International Women's Day to honor Algerian women living in France who do so much for the Algerian community. Madame Anissa Boumediene, former First Lady, and especially our MP Sabrina Sebay, who has passed a law on the events of October 17, 1961. What was meant to be a celebration became a powerful denunciation of a French political climate that is becoming increasingly hostile toward Algerians. For many binational citizens and French officials of Algerian descent, the relationship between both shores of the Mediterranean is not just a diplomatic matter. It is a question of dignity, recognition, and the right to exist without being vilified.
In other news, the voting process for the midterm renewal of elected members of the Council of the Nation took place on Sunday at the headquarters of state popular assemblies nationwide. The electoral body consisted of 27,241 electors, while 629 candidacy files were submitted. Of these, 410 were from candidates backed by 23 political parties and 219 were from independent candidates. The National Independent Authority for Elections monitored the voting process through its data center, receiving all relevant information to ensure transparency. Voter turnout at the conclusion of the process stood at 96.31%.
The operation went well. Regarding observers, there is no candidate, whether he was from a political party or an independent one, that doesn't have an observer at the level of the poll stations. This is very important for us and for the integrity and transparency of the election operation.
Algeria advances major projects with the Garaj-Bilat-Bashar-Magnin railway progressing rapidly to meet deadlines and harness natural resources. Minister Lila Bilaman reports.
Algeria is moving forward on the path of progress, and the Bashar Hamagir section is part of the Tindouf Garaj-Bilat railway project. The project is progressing well, driven by the dedication of Algerian hands working tirelessly to bring it to life.
A 98-kilometer railway connection and a modern passenger station in Abadla have been completed. Work between Abadla and Hamagir is progressing rapidly, operating in 3 8-hour shifts daily, with all resources mobilized to meet the deadline.
وتسليمه في أجاله المحددة إن شاء الله.
Other sections linking Hamagir, Lasel, Tindouf and Garaj-Bilat are also advancing steadily, aiming for on-time completion.
Land leveling and technical structures are in their final stages. The companies in charge have delivered railway tracks and sleepers, allowing track lane to begin. The third and longest section, 440 km between Hamair and Lasel, has also started track installation, with most infrastructure already completed.
وانتهينا من معظم المنشآت الفنية وعمليات التسطيح.
Once finished, the Tindouf Garaj-Bilat railway will enable the extraction of 40 to 50 million tons of iron ore, boosting economic growth and reinforcing Algeria's strategy to maximize its mineral wealth.
That was it for today's news. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.